have Coach make his opening statement, and we'll take questions. Whenever you're ready, Coach.
Yep. Just really proud of these guys, the resiliency throughout the game, the resiliency of the season, and just, the way it starts, and just with the way they responded time and time again. Wasn't a perfect game by any means. That's a well-coached team that we faced there with Coach Lee. Does a great job there. And, I thought we played, hard-nosed. Love the way we finished the game. The second half, just controlling really the line of scrimmage more and more as the game went on both sides of the ball. And, I think we held them to 20-some yards really over the last probably 3 quarters rushing. And so I'm really proud of the way that the guys responded. And, again, it just goes back to doing your job. Our guys did a great job just coming to practice and focusing on us. I think that's been a huge theme for us here on this run we're on, and the momentum we're continuing to gain. There's a confidence between offense and defense that the other side will come through when it matters most. And so, again, it wasn't perfect by any means, but proud of the way we responded and continue to fight all game long.
Coach, start with Charlie on the right.
Yeah, Coach, just how good was it to be able to kind of lean on the run game late, especially with Jam the way he played?
Yeah, it really was. It's huge. It takes a lot of pressure off the play calling, and obviously Ty too, when every play doesn't have to be a pass or a protection, and just good to see Jam out there doing his thing, breaking loose. And bigger chunks, right? Bigger chunks, and I still feel like between the line and the tailbacks, there's still a few more opportunities that we can improve on, and we need to keep taking the next step in the run game. But I thought it was something we worked on a lot. We knew we were getting closer last week, and I feel like we again took another step this week.
Going to the left, Dave.
Yeah, that's 2 straight games where you guys have taken punches and kept punching back, kind of thing. How do you think, or what do you think has led to you guys turning a corner in that your ability to do that?
Mm-hmm. Just really understanding when it first happened, week 1, that there's one of 2 things you can do. You can just take it, or you can fight back. And if you are who we are, and we really believe that we have a good football team, then we should only have one option, and that's just to get everything we got and leave it all on the football field. And that's what these guys are doing. And the defense is just doing a good job of making sure that they force the offense, the opposing offense, to play another play. Right, line up. You see the drives. I mean, there was 2 turnovers in the red zone, really, and so forcing them to play another play and just making them earn it. And then our guys again. I mean, we are kind of getting that feeling of takeaways. I think like we did last year. It's starting to come back to us, and the physicality now on top of that I felt we brought today. Again, I thought it was a positive step for our defense.
Staying left, let's go Chase.
Could you speak to the short yardage carry for Caden Proctor? And last week you mentioned the pass had been in since fall camp. Has this been in since camp too?
Not as long. Less moving parts on this one. Just give it to the big man and let him rumble. So he did a great job. I mean, it's just hard to bring down a guy that's that size and that athletic. So happy that he did a good job handling the football and securing it. That's not something he does as much as the other guys, and it's a big moment in the game. So love the idea to put the call in, love the play call, and good execution.
Katie.
How did that first possession coming out of the half kind of set the tone for what the defense was going to do in the second half, shutting out Vanderbilt?
Really key. One thing I think we've done a good job here as of late until today was coming out of the locker room to start the game defensively, and that didn't happen. It didn't happen at the level that we wanted. The first quarter, giving up a couple runs and giving them some life. And so really coming back out of the locker room, I was really proud of the way the defense, and there definitely was some adjustments that I know we made in the second to third quarter there that led to, what we're doing. And that's part of plan A and plan B and plan C that you have when you're working throughout the week. You put those things in and you have them ready to go, and you got to change it up, right? Because you got good players on the other side too that are and coaches that are going to attack you if you just sit in the same thing. So I thought, again, our guys, understanding the other parts of the game plan and then going and execute it, I was really proud of them.
Let's go to the back room on the left, Alex.
What do you think of the offensive line in terms of pass protection and how Ty sort of dealt with the pressure when it was in his face?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think Ty could have thrown it away a few times. Just a couple lessons learned there. I thought we were better last week probably with as much as we were getting. And some of it's one-on-ones. I think that's really what a lot of it probably was when we watched the film, but I haven't seen it in that detail. So, yeah, having him in his face it backed up, it kills a drive. We have to punt and gives them good field position. So, there's things that you improve on, and there's things that you just got to, I don't think it was awful, but I think that it definitely could have been better. And so sometimes you just got to live with throwing it away too. And, we have enough threats as long as we're not way behind the chains. We feel we can convert the third down and 10s, the third down and 12s. When we start getting past, 14, 15 yards, obviously there's less and less plays in the playbook and a lot more defensive opportunities for them to just sit back and, give you a few yards and then make you punt.
Let's go to Colin on the far right.
Hey, Kalen. Wondering, was there a mindset shift or something different after, I think Vanderbilt had about 113 rushing yards in that first quarter? Was there a conversation had with the defense kind of heading into the final three, or what kind of shifted there?
Yeah, I think we just, the one explosive that they had that, probably the longest run I think that they had, we just got to do a better job holding our, sometimes it's not a whole defensive thing. Sometimes it's just 1 to 2 guys. They got to hold their ground, and be more physical and understand where the help's at and, the angles. So it's just a better job of execution that we need to have. And I think, again, it's the guys believing that if we just execute, the game will come to us and we'll make those plays. And, that's really what they did is they just still honed in on doing their part and knowing that the rest of the guys were going to rally. And that's what we did. I felt like we really kept the option stuff under control. They hit a play action there in the fourth quarter, on the third down. That got behind us a little bit. But, again, I thought the guys did a good job with their eyes. The discipline was going to be a big thing that way. Thought we took some good steps against an offense that has a lot of wrinkles and things that they'll show you.
Got a couple questions on the back right. Let's go to Mark and then go to Chris.
Kalen, Diego was such a big factor last year. He had the one, I think, 36-yard run, but you guys bottled him up otherwise. What was the plan to try to contain him?
Yeah, a lot of the discipline, and the hardest ones are when he takes off and runs and then still keeps his eyes downfield and you're drawn to him. You come off your man, whether it's zone, especially in zones. And I know he got a couple first downs that way where he just, flipped it out there. So, everyone's just, you got to contain, and that's easier said than done. He gets out in space and they do a good job moving the pocket. So he's not just sitting back there. And then they got enough other threats and they can get rid of it quick. The option game and all of that, they got good personnel besides him.
Chris?
Kalen, quarterbacks are such magnets anyway, but could you talk about the confidence this team has now, or has had really, in Ty and the way he's played and certainly on big downs?
Yeah, we do. And you can feel it in the calls that we're making. We're putting, we're aggressive. We're, backed up in our own territory and throwing the ball down the field with some play action and, shots. Ryan catches one down the right sideline there. And when you can do those things and you trust your quarterback as a play caller, and he goes and makes those plays, there is a lot of confidence. I think, we still haven't hit our full swing here like I think we're capable of as an offense. Especially with finishing drives, but there's no doubt that I think our defense sees what we can do offensively, and now, it's a little bit of a balance too, where the offense sees what the defense can do if they just continue to stay the course and do a good job. The adjustments, the physicality continues to get better and better as a football team. I love the way we compete right now.
Jim on the left side of the room.
The 2 timeouts, even before they scored, before the half, how much of that is gut by you, or is there a book you look at, and how important was that drive that you saved time for before the half?
Yeah, it was huge. That was huge. And, you're playing the percentages, right? You're playing the percentages to just give yourself as much opportunity. You're letting them get a good play call, and it goes both ways, and they did a nice job of scoring. But you're playing the percentages that you're going to have as much time as possible. And with our offense, again, getting in a rhythm like that, like we did, I'm really proud of the fight and just the belief to go down the length of the field in a short amount of time like we had. So that's that happens in practice. We do we call it clutch, 2-minute drill every single week. And we did it a lot in fall camp. And there's a lot of opportunities that I think our system allows for whatever you call, it's probably going to be wrong. And so the guys are understanding that. Ty's understanding it. You can see some of those windows that he's starting to hit. I love how we're going not just in the middle of the field now, but we hit some balls down the outside. So, defense got to cover the entire field, short, long, sideline to sideline.
Let's go to Joe in the middle here, second row.
Just building kind of off that, you had great play from the wide receivers today, Ryan, Jeremy, and Isaiah. Ryan kind of improvising on the rollout, and then Jeremy finishing that 2-minute drive. Just can you talk about the impact of those wide receivers and how they're really progressing?
Yeah, they're just they're competitors. They all have a little something different. I mean, there's a ton of overlap on their skill sets. I think they can all do things with the ball, but you see Isaiah going up, just big tall target and just grabbing the ball out of the air in between safeties and corners and along the sideline. He's done that a number of times now. That's awesome for a quarterback to have that. And so as a group, it isn't just those three. Latsier and Rico, caught a nice ball over the middle today. Just the guts and the pride that group has in each other, and as a unit to go out there and keep getting better. They push each other in practice. That's what's cool to see, and they're good friends. They all want to be out there, but it's a healthy competition, much like we've talked about at other positions. So, great job by those guys finding a way to get explosives. Really, a 3rd and extra long. We still believe we can convert it. And we don't want to be in those spots, but I feel like we're calling plays to where if there's any time for Ty, he's going to make the throw, they're going to make the catch, and if you come after us and get singled up, that's an opportunity right there too.
Stay on the right side of you two.
Coach, what's the next step that needs to develop in this offense to become that complete offense that you're envisioning?
Just keep getting better in all the things that I feel, the run game, finishing drives, the couple times now, the last couple weeks, just finishing drives when we get those spots. So, and this also understanding what our strengths are. I know we had a turnover today, there early, but just taking care of the football. That is a huge piece of our success. We're not putting the defense in very many tough positions. And so just make sure our strengths are our strengths and keep bringing the things that we know we got to get better at along.
All right, up on the far right, Dan.
Kalen, hey, what was the week like with the team, but specifically with Ty emotionally, just knowing there was going to be some noise coming out of the other side and things like that? How did you want him to get caught up in that, or did you not want him to? What was the mentality there?
Well, there's enough to where, and it's not just this week, right? There's enough to where you can't help but hear it. I can hear it in the questions we get asked, in press conferences and with y'all and stuff. And so, it's out there. And the thing I'm really proud, and this is what I talk to the guys about, our guys right now are just showing up and doing the work. That's what's got us to this point, and I just keep reminding them, and it gets really tempting, and I'm sure there'll be something, something that pops up, but they're doing a really good job of just showing up and doing the work and focusing on us. And, this is what you get. You get these games that are going to go 4 quarters in the SEC. I showed them a stat. I think you guys probably find something where I'm wrong on this, but I believe there was 12 games going into this weekend. I think 8 of them were 7 points or less. The other 2 were 10 points or less. These guys, won big at South Carolina, but these games are going to go down to the wire. And so I just love the way that our thought process and our mindset is that you got to be in it for 4 quarters. We've used the analogy of a 15-round heavyweight fight, and that's what it's got to be every single week. And we got to go do that again this next week against Missouri.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.